I don't think this is the one we use for when we're sitting down.
Let's say it again.
Big Elvis the chef, I am here. And once again, I have the incomparable.
Ulrich.
And never forget
Doctor surgeon, the people's doctor.
the people's doctor. Tory Lanez was found guilty today of all 3 counts. All 3 counts. Tory Lanez was found guilty. And I spent a lot of the last 10 days listening to people like Milagro Grams and people like, really just Milagro Grams and my wife. My wife has been breaking down to me everything that's supposedly going on in the courtroom. Breaking down the closing statements and everything, where Milagro broke down all the words that the district attorney said, all the words that the defendant's attorney said, which is Tory Lanez. Everything from the beginning. I spent many hours on this, and I have to tell you, man, none of it mattered. The man was found guilty in a court of law by a jury of his peers. And we have to respect that, I think. I think we have to respect that you have not been able to prove reasonable doubt. No matter how much craziness and confusion, no matter how much of a whore and a slut and a tramp Megan Thee Stallion is, or proven to be, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. 12 people, I think there was 2 alternates that came. The 2 alternates were needed. They had to get rid of 2 people. So we have a group of people that just didn't take to the reality of what people like me saw, and I'm very unbiased. I'm unbiased. I didn't feel the way I felt about Megan until I heard what I heard from the people that were out there. And I'm not saddened by this because it's to be expected to some degree. Let me let my guys here talk, and then I'll talk a little more about how I feel and the things I wanted to say.
Court.
Well, there's a lot I don't know or understand about this case. Like, what the Megan side is arguing happened versus what Tory side is arguing happened. So I know Megan says she got shot. Did he shoot at her? Did he shoot it recklessly and it hit her foot? I don't know. Now, Elvis, can you just clarify if any was that argued or made clear during the case?
Yes, the way it was made clear was that Tory's DNA was not on the gun that was shot 5 times.
Okay.
No DNA on the gun.
Okay.
The prosecution tried to allude that maybe it was because of he was in the pool that day. So by being in the pool, his DNA wasn't able to transfer onto the weapon.
That's what? Wait, that the chlorine washed off the ability for the DNA to get, that doesn't make sense.
Right. And then at the closing statements, you know what they told the jury? The first time ever, they says, don't worry about the DNA not matching. We have to remember Megan's trauma because her trauma matters.
Wait, they didn't really say that.
That's what he said. This was done by a credible source that was in the courtroom who was taking notes. This is what the closing arguments were about. It's absolutely ridiculous. Almost as ridiculous as the point I'm going to make in a second. Go ahead, or ask any question you want, because I got it. I spent a lot of hours on this thing here.
So now, do you think that it was just by some kind of spell or some kind of or some kind of form of emotional manipulation that the jury was convinced, or do you feel like somehow, for some reason, there was some kind of fix? Are you leaning towards more? Do you think
No,
that
don't
the
worry about
jury
where I'm
was
leaning
really-
to. No. I just need your opinion.
I'm trying to understand, because I don't know. I still don't understand fully what the jury, like what was said by the jury, what arguments were made. But if what just those things are saying is true, then I don't know what this is, except for a kind of I don't want to say it. I don't want to talk hyperbole, but like. There's been a war against the justice system by criticizing the justice system and saying how useless or how broken the justice system is, in order to create these kangaroo courts or create these kinds of courts that make it so things like feelings and emotion and things like a child's someone's trauma or something is actually taken into account and put in the same level that evidence is taken into account when you refer to Megan's trauma. And and I'm not sure, there's a specific thing when it comes to the court system that's kind of the biggest issue. I find that when for some reason, if you are a murderer and you committed something horrible or you did something horrible, something along those lines, murder or something with a child or something horrific, they take into account for some reason something that happened to you when you were a child, as if there's a correlation about the evil you committed to the evil that you experienced. And it sounds like the Megan trauma, the Megan thing, when they taking her trauma into account, maybe she was given inconsistent. She gave inconsistent statements or inconsistent testimony.
Oh, absolutely.
They use things like that. Now, using trauma would say she was confused, she was hurt, or she was so traumatized that she couldn't even say the right thing. She couldn't even be clear or be honest, or know what time or what happened or where she was hit or something like that. Her pain overtakes evidence, and that's what if that's the case, and if that's what's happened, they're trying to break the justice system, not fix a broken system. They're trying to break it until it's irreparable.
I'm not sure. What I do know is that this has played out to be bigger than what you'd expect it to be. And all the while, it doesn't seem we're getting all the information. It doesn't seem to add up. You know.
Which part? The fact that he's been found guilty doesn't seem to add up?
No, it's just, not being aware of the story and the different pieces that you're hearing about some of the inconsistencies and all these different things, and if they were supposed to be closed. So it's one thing, what is he being pursued in that matter for? Is it like is she trying to sue him to get monies for her?
No. She's trying to send him to prison. He's going to prison
Yeah, it's a
now.
criminal, not a civil trial.
He's going to prison. Tory Lanez is going to prison for what happened that night on that road in California, Calabasas.
And she said that he was after her?
No. Let's remember, guys, no social media. Even though Ulrich knows a little bit more, but this wasn't something that was done on court TV. The only way we have this information is from, and they were trying to give out that information on the YouTube channels, what's going on in the courtroom. So, it appeared to be almost to the minutes, like it's someone doing shorthand kind of a thing. And we were getting very biased opinions because these people were kind of rooting for Tory. But these people were rooting for Tory while this information was being presented. So it wasn't necessarily like all three of these YouTubers walked into the door rooting for Tory. At least one of them was rooting for just the truth and just to put it out there and get their channels to pop and bubble. But we have a woman who went behind her best friend's back to sleep with every man her best friend ever got close to because she has a sickness inside of her. She has this unquenchable thirst to make everyone's life subservient to her life. And if she sees that maybe you might have an opportunity to win, she'll do everything she can to circumvent that. What happened was when Tory was trying to hook up with a woman, one of the Jenners. You know the Jenners are the Kylie Jenner, the Kardashian sisters, the Jenners. And he was trying to hook up with one of the Jenners at the party, and he told his bodyguard, not his bodyguard, he told his driver to take Megan and her best friend home. And while they left, he's over there kicking it with Kylie. Megan figured out a way to get back. She's like, oh, no, I forgot something. Let's go back. So when they got back, she started a lot of drama. Like, why are you over here trying to holler at her? And, you know, she was telling her friend, because her friend was in a relationship with Tory. Not in a relationship, but they were friends with benefits. So Megan was trying to get her friend to be pissed off about it, and didn't like the fact that she wasn't pissed off about it, and just bothered her so much that she started some crap that the Jenner young lady kicked them out. I said, all right, you gotta go. So they left. On the ride back, they're in the limousine. On the ride back, Tory and Megan get into a big argument because she tells Tory that he's short and he can't run. And he was like, yeah, I can't rhyme and I'm short, but why you keep sleeping with all your friends' men? You know I'm sleeping with her friend. And he said, you know I'm sleeping with your friend, but yet I'm sleeping with you too. You went behind her back so I can screw you. So what's that about? The car stops. Megan and her friend get out of the car and they fighting. This is what the fence was able to prove. They get out of the car and they fighting now. A gun comes out. One or two shots ring off, and then the next 3 shots ring off. And Megan says that they weren't fighting. Her and her friend were not fighting. That they just bumped because her friend ponytail got ripped out of her head. And she's saying, how did the ponytail get ripped out of your head? She says, I don't know. She says, but I wear a lot of ponytails, so they were saying how she has a bald spot on the top of her head from her hair getting ripped out. Well, she said, yeah, it could have happened, but I wear a lot of ponytails. So a lot of women that wear those cool ponytails like that, they all end up with these huge bald spots right here. They do it, you know, for more than a year or two or whatever have you. Yeah. So you see all these high-end models, these white girl models that have that real cool look, like a robot look and all that stuff. They all got big bald spots on the tops of their head. It's just, it's pretty gross. But she's saying that when they asked her, were you in a fight with Megan? She says, I plead the fifth. And she was given immunity because they never tested her for gunpowder residue. They never tested Megan for gunpowder residue. They only tested Tory, and he didn't have any gunpowder residue, nor did he have any, I know you're looking like, what? No, he didn't have gunpowder residue, no DNA on the gun. But there was an eyewitness that was watching the girls fight who admitted to seeing the girls fight and seeing Tory, a short man, with a gun in his hand. And then when he got on trial, he said, nah, I didn't really see him with a gun in his hand, but I did see something like a flash go off. I'm thinking it could have been his watch.
Right.
Your watch will bling a little bit in the dark. You know, certain watches and certain jewelry will come across as a sparkle. They never brought that up in court though, but this is just me saying possibly. All I know is that Megan, the bullet fragments that were in her foot were lost by the doctor. The doctor says she definitely had bullet fragments. The doctor also says she doesn't have nerve damage. She says she has nerve damage. She says that she has nerve damage and problems. Mind you, they got her twerking a week later. She's on a boat twerking. I thought you have nerve damage. So they were able, Megan's testimony was so inconsistent that she lied to Gail on, Gail King, Gail.
Yeah.
She has a show and Gail asked her, hey, are you two in a sexual relationship? And she says, no, we were not. But they were.
Yeah, but then you can make the argument that she lied in order to protect her image and not known for fighting, but she didn't lie about the fact that Tory Lanez shot her.
That's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what the attorney was able to prove. They were able to prove that Megan was shot by Tory, despite the fact that possibly the two girls were in a fight over the fact that she slept. This is, by the way, Tory Lanez was her fourth man she slept with. And they brought up the men that she slept with, basketball players, football players, all kind of stuff, that because she was around Megan, she was able to get into those rooms. The same thing we talked about Romeo. Dude, you in all these rooms. How you not taking advantage of this? She was taking advantage of it. She was sleeping with these men, probably hoping to get a check, baby. If it's good enough, if you can grip it right, you might not be able to pull out. So this is the dream. Megan cannot have this person be happy. So she was very inconsistent, and she said the reason why she lied, like you said, is because her image, and she played the victim role on the stage. On that, when she was on the stand, she played that she was nervous, and she was she had to leave the courtroom. Even the other girl had to leave the courtroom to throw up, because there was, these are stressful situations. So these women are, these strong women are very weak on the stand, though. Until they get on the stand, they're just weak little flowers. So, anybody got something to say? Let me just see what anyone is saying here. Okay. Black men, let's talk. Rob Lowe 2000, what's popping? Free Tory. It's all that punk Jay-Z's fault. Everybody knows it's the truth. Good point. That's that Rock Nation influences.
But who's the defense saying shot the gun? Because in order to get him acquitted, they need to prove. Oh, I mean, it would be helpful.
Yeah, they're trying to say that it was the friend who said that she pleads the fifth, who got immunity, who was never checked for any gunshot residue. They're saying she's the one who had the gun.
All right, let's think about Tory. Or Megan Thee Stallion. So Megan Thee Stallion, you think she's lying to protect her friend, or she's lying to vindictively ruin Tory Lanez because he's jealous she wouldn't claim hers?
No, she didn't want Tory to claim her. She only wanted Tory because her friend had Tory.
So, but she wanted Tory. She's lying about this to make Tory suffer.
I think
motivation?
That her motivation is what we just heard from Christopher Perkins just said. I think that was Christopher Perkins that said he blames Jay-Z. And I would concur with that whole concept of Rock Nation and their analyses of this woman. Mind you, they spent a lot of money on Megan Thee Stallion, she's not brought back any money, not on record sales. I don't know what her shows are like. They're pretty good. I've seen her, I've seen her live shows, her performances. I've seen her when she did the Tiny Desk series. She's talented. She's definitely talented. It's more sorry. Oh. Forgive me, y'all.
All right.
It's more profitable for this strong black woman to be shot by a man than to be shot by a woman.
Oh, so you think this is a Jussie kind of thing, but this just happens to be at the expense of somebody else?
Right.
This is a next up. This is even more evil than Jussie was.
Thank you for bringing that up, because I thought about that earlier in the week. This is very Jussie Smollett. This is very much wrong and strong with that righteous indignation and that victim mentality, and the fact that she's a black woman. I don't want to ever hear about black women not being protected, because black women are popping right now. You can be 300 pounds and they gotta let you in the club. Are you kidding me? Remember we talked about that? We talked about that black woman who they wouldn't let her in the club because she was too big to get in the club. No, they didn't let you in the club because they didn't like your energy.
Oh, but you notice those too. A gay black man used two masculine African dudes in order to bolster himself up, and then a black woman used a black rapper in order to, or a black person, or I guess a masculine. It's supposed to be. Tory Lanez makes hard music, doesn't he? He makes hard, tough music in order to kind of lift herself up. So both those cases was an attack on masculinity in a weird way.
That's good.
That's too loose of a correlation.
No, I don't think it's too far fetched. I think that we have a very alpha male, and they're trying to bring our alpha males down because let's look at this. Tory Lanez in one night had an opportunity to sleep with the best friend of a superstar, the superstar, and the billionaire white girl in Beverly Hills, all in the same day. They got to stop that. They don't need that to be the reality. And mind you, not only is he like what 5 foot, he claims to be 5'6". So let's just.
Damn, he claims to be 5'6".
Or 5'7", something like that. So 5'7". He's like 5'6", 5'7". So
Okay.
let's say he's 5'9". Who cares? Whatever the case is, we have a true alpha male who's extremely talented, influential, and the last thing they could have had was him win. I'm thinking about the men that was on this trial. How beta were these men? Do you know that Joe Button got into a little issue about Megan Thee Stallion? People were coming at him because he said he didn't like her. He's like, I'm having a hard time liking this woman. But before that, when this all started, he was riding with Megan. He was saying how I believe the woman. There's a whole movement to believe the women. Do you know about this, Ulrich?
Oh, of course, yeah, of course. I believe all women. That's another way to attack the justice system and make it irreparable. If you start leaning towards a gender, the same reason why it's a difficulty with the reason why there's so many teens committing these murders is because the not only that they're incorrigible. I think it's because.
What do you mean by incorrigible? What's that word mean?
Easy, like can get riled up, can get easily.
You could put a battery in their back.
Yeah.
Incorrigible.
But it's not just incorrigible for anything. It's specifically for bad behavior.
Right. Well,
it's not just encourage. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think people are incorrigible to give out to the
and it's not
food
encourage. It's not
pantry.
encourage. It's spelled like courage. It's spelled like different.
Incorrigible.
And yeah. Anyway, all right, but whatever.
No. Please correct us. This is why you're here, Ulrich. All right, you're our educator. Please educate us. You're a wordsmith. That's a fact. Let's not only can you say the word like me. I can say the words.
No,
I can't spell the words. You can spell them.
Yeah, calling them an expert in anything is going to lead to somebody eventually getting exposed in some odd way. They'll be like, "Oh, we're on the spot, spelled indubitably." You'll be like, anyway. But
you don't respond well to anybody trying to get you to do anything.
No, yeah. I just
there you go. Like tonight, I had told you to slow down with the mac and cheese, and you was like, "No," and you went faster. Because he's my friend. I don't want my friends standing around just hoofing food in their faces and stuff.
I wasn't embarrassed around that crowd.
But you see, that's the thing. It's not about being embarrassed. I was telling you not to eat so fast, not because you're embarrassing or you should be embarrassed. It's just because we're standing around, we're trying out the samples and stuff like that, and we can take our time. We don't have to just hoof everything down like Neanderthals. But it's okay. That's part of your alphaness.
I am that.
Yeah.
Well, Neanderthal, not the alpha. Let's say.
Well, you don't consider yourself an alpha?
No, because that's like I don't like just applying that a subset to my personality.
Really?
Because in most I'm alpha when somebody challenges me. Otherwise, I try to stay out of shit. I don't try to
right.
But otherwise,
you're mistaking my alpha. Alpha, I'm not talking about the guy who's fighting in the streets. That's not alpha. That's an emotional wreck.
I don't always impose my. I don't necessarily try to impose.
Alpha is the way your mentality is. Your traditional values on the way you believe women and men's roles are makes you alpha.
That sound like
the fact that you are also a protector. You're not gonna. It's gonna be hard for you to lose a fight. You have a lot of years in boxing, so even if let's say you're afraid, on the back pedal, you probably could come in and do some serious damage. Much
No,
more.
the combat I'm not afraid of. Because I'd rather get beat. I'm more afraid of the feeling I'm gonna have the next morning if I like ran from a fight than the feeling I'm gonna get them punched in the face.
Right.
I know that emotional thing is gonna be deep.
Yes, yeah. You'll be like, damn, I'm such a punk. I should have did this. I should have did that.
That's
Yeah.
probably just days. What was I gonna? All right, but back.
No. That's alpha. That's alpha. All three of us are alpha in our own ways. There is no. We don't want to broad stroke the alpha and over explain the alpha. But let me just tell you, Tory is alpha. He is everything that represents a boss. He represents boss. He represents independence. He represents a man who can handle himself in a setting that's corporate, in a setting that's hood. And they hate that. And when I say they, I'm talking about the liberals. I'm talking about the bleeding heart liberals. I'm talking about the people that think you have to believe all women, when most women are liars. Most women, now all the information are coming out that women are cheating more than men are. You got the ugliest fat chick with 400 people in her DMs. They walk around with the lie on top of their heads. That's a problem. And I'm not talking about like just black women. I'm talking about these Dominican, Hispanic women. I'm talking about these Asian women. I'm talking about all these women that are walking around with the lie, the makeup lie, the hair lie, the push-up bra lie, the tummy tuck lie, the nose job lie. All these lies. And Tory and people like him go against what their plan is. And that is to bring us, you and I, men, bring us down to the feminine level where they can just stomp on us, walk all over us, and we'll thank them for it. I think that's what he represents. It makes me sad. I'm saddened by this. But we are in America and we have what is called the appeal system. Thank goodness for the appeal system. You know what I would like to really see? I would like to see this judge say, no, yeah, you've been convicted of your peers, but I'm not letting this stand. This is, you guys are not paying attention.
And the judge can actually do that. Judges never really do that.
No. Judges don't do that.
They
Judges
can.
don't
They do
do
have
that.
the authority to do that.
Oh, yeah. They have to do, they usually do that when you're like 17, 18, 19, and you're white, and you killed somebody in that car wreck and you really didn't mean it. And the jury says you're going to go to prison, and the judge says, nah, I don't think prison's going to help.
That's, I mean, not if that the fact that you're white, but like some kind of car wreck, and it's, if you're not, that ain't mal, that's
No.
not malicious.
Yeah, but the
I
black
don't
guy's
think
going to
jail,
prison. The white guy's going to get, the judge will be, what they call that, overturn it.
But is that just indicative of they usually have a better, they just happen to have a better lawyer if they're white?
No.
Or, because
It's part of the script over.
I don't know, because, I don't know, black privileged people get away with shit just as much as white privileged people.
I'm sure. Every town has its stories. Every town, I'm sure Martha's Vineyard has a ton of judicial stories where these people have gotten over.
I'm sure Obama blacks have kind of gotten a lot of other blacks to roll and get their, do their.
Yeah, Jussie Smollett, Obama black. So yeah. Megan Thee Stallion, I just really am just sitting counting the days when she goes to the highest building and press the delete button.
Jeez Louise.
That's what I'm hoping for.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of her. That she's mostly influential to chicks that are like 13, 14 and stuff like that. At 11, 12, and 10. I think that's a little.
It's disturbing.
We'll leave that.
Anything else for you, Doc? You got anything to say about this?
No, not really.
It's kind of bringing you down, though, right? Talk about melancholy. This subject has brought us down. Tory Lanez is being convicted of all 3 charges, but thank goodness for this real judicial system, and I truly believe in it. I believe in this. I believe in it. The appeal system. Look who's out. What's his name is out? Bill Cosby. He got out because of the appeal system.
Yeah,
The
you can't
appeal
say the system is
system.
broken until you show a better system, show a better judicial system in the world, and then say that it's broken.
Well, I think the judicial system itself is a great system. The problem is, like you said, we're working on feelings. We have closing arguments when he says Megan's trauma matters.
Yeah, that's the abuse of the judicial, but that's not how the judicial system is supposed to work.
Oh no! I'm saying the abuse of it. Yes,
That's
but I'm just.
abuse.
But it's not not abusive because the jury still decided ultimately. Now the issue is more so that why the jury, because the jury's instructed. Have you ever been on a jury? Ever did jury duty before?
No.
All right, I was on a jury before, and they give you like the instructions on how to what you're supposed to do. But almost everybody forgets that shit by the end. It's barely in that little room. It was quick. It was the quickest not guilty I ever had at the end of my jury duty. It was just bloop bloop. Because once they got the vibe that 3 people just wasn't with it, and it was like an assault case. So I guess it wasn't that thing. Some guy got his nose broken at some like a weird party or something like that. But they went across the room to not guilty. And by the time, like the people just, it wasn't even, there was no discussion really. They just.
You didn't have a discussion. You were like, those 3
no,
are going
this
not
is 12
guilty. I'm
Angry
going.
Men. No,
Remember 12 Angry Men? What a great movie that was. That's the black and white version. It's really amazing. So, yeah. I believe in the judicial system that we have right now and the appeal system even more, especially the grand jury. What I like about this, with the system that we have in place, is that we have Congress. And Congress, for argument's sake, I would argue that Congress runs America. And the way it goes is that, give me a second, Ulrich. And the way it goes is just that all the corporations are pushing Congress to pass certain laws. And the great thing about this country is that the Supreme Court could actually shut all that down. So.
Well, you could say now. All right, you could say they control more so the House of Representatives. The Senate is supposed to like deal with corruption with politicians. The House of Representatives is the one who deals with how money is spent, what money is delegated to these projects, or like things that would go like that. So I think, well, that's why there's a shitload of representatives and only 2 senators.
Right.
But the representatives, I think, are more susceptible to what's the word, to corruption. Well, I guess
of course,
as a politician, I guess
course,
anybody's really susceptible to corruption.
Of course.
But I think, but they don't. I don't think they really have more like sway than the executive branch or like the judicial branch or like.
Let me ask this question.
Yeah.
Do we believe, or what do we think about the jurors and the fear that they might have to saying that this man did not commit this crime to this woman? Do you think that? I think that played a huge part. What say you?
Wait, can you say that one more time?
That the jury was scared. The jury was scared. They were scared to be part of allowing this man to say he's not guilty. They were afraid of the backlash.
But the juries are not supposed to be. The juries weren't. Their identity wasn't given away. I mean, I'm sure there's a way to find like anything. I think, but I don't think the jurors did it because they were scared. But like I don't know. I just can't. I can't see like unless there was legitimate jury intimidation. But social backlash. I don't know.
Great word. Social backlash. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
But I think that it's going to be the opposite of social backlash with the Tory Lanez said, because Tory Lanez was almost a Johnny. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking Tory. Maybe it's.
What do you think about that, Doc? The social backlash and their fears.
I don't know. You know what? It's weird. I'm thinking about this story and how I could get to that point. But I'm lost. I'm lost in the story. I'm lost.
Would it help you if you got the full case, the full like you got the?
It would help a little bit more, but I'm getting the gist of it. But I'm lost.
You're like, how could this be?
Yeah,
How does this make sense?
it doesn't make sense at all. And it doesn't make sense like with the jurors. And are they scared or they not? I mean, I'm not sure what it is, but this whole thing just doesn't add up.
Yeah. Yeah, if there's no DNA at all, and there's no gunshot residue, that is not.
There's something that we don't know.
Yeah,
That's about it. And you know, and what purpose it's serving, not sure, but it gotta make sense.
Yeah, apparently it doesn't have to make sense.
Because,
apparently you just could just
you
gotta just take into consideration the trauma.
You know,
And the pain and the trauma. Wow.
these are the times we're in. And this is what we gotta talk about.
Well, maybe we'll learn a little bit more. Maybe we'll get a little information about this. And maybe there'll be a part 2 concerning this.
But it's gonna be an appeal.
Yeah.
What do you think about Megan threatening to go after the bloggers and vloggers that ran out the courtroom and went live on their Twitters and their YouTube and their Instagram?
Like legally,
she's threatening to sue them.
I mean, come on, that's obviously ridiculous. I mean, given the work she's in, that's ridiculous.
There's something that's being hidden. There's something that's being hidden.
And what it says,
What
if
do
there's
you mean?
There's something that's being hidden.
What? In what way? What do you tell me?
Somehow, for some reason, why would I care?
Why
would I
would you
care as
care?
her?
Oh, yeah,
Why would I care?
yeah.
Unless it doesn't look good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like, thank God this trial wasn't televised. If this trial was televised, then the people really would be speaking.
Yeah, because maybe I wonder if they saw how well the Amber Heard thing went or something like that. I don't know.
You are appreciated for tuning into this channel. Let me see. 7 women, 3 of them were white, 1 Asian, 1 black, and 5 men, 3 white, 1 black, and 1 Mexican. Nice. Thank you for breaking that down. Okay. Steven says go to jail and get on the phone that costs $6 a minute and tell me how it's innocent until proven guilty. You go to jail and get on the phone that costs $6 a minute and tell me how it's innocent until proven guilty.
Just getting taken in, basically.
Wait. Why do you deserve a phone in prison?
No, you're talking about just getting taken
the
into.
jail phone, right? Like
Yeah. Why do you deserve? Why do you? Like that's to have a phone is a privilege. To get to have leisurely talks, is that not a privilege? To get your
I'm talking about just being taken in. You're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, and you get taken in immediately. You're subjected to that type of life.
That's what I'm saying. What are you doing?
You know?
Yeah, nothing you're saying.
You still haven't been guilty yet, but you have to pay $6 for this phone call.
Right. And T.
To get
Really
out.
says a few selected corporations run
wait,
America.
Wait, that's not correct. Your phone call is free. You're entitled to a phone call, to a free phone call that you don't have to pay for. I don't know what
No, he's talking about inside the prisons.
Yeah, so that I mean.
All right. T. Rilla says a few corporations run America.
Yep.
And then Peter Griffin says, aren't alphas first in line to be overthrown? Ooh, that was nice. Like the lion. The lion is there, living a great life. Smashing at least, 6 lioness minimum, 4 minimum. Got them all pregnant, got the cubs running around.
And they don't have to hunt either.
And then the new lion comes in and sees what he's doing, watches him for about 2 days, and then challenges him. And then, if he wins the fight, he kills all the babies. And immediately, the lioness go into heat, even if it's not their heat cycle. They go into heat, and he smashes and puts new babies in them.
That's nature.
Oh. Rob Lowe, peace. Yes, sir. Thank you, Rob Lowe. Michael Wallace says, being a black. Christopher Perkins says, free today. It's all about, oh yeah, we read that already. Jay-Z, peace, peace. Jail, not a prison. He was responding to what we were saying about the jail call. Steve, we appreciate you guys.
All right.
You know, yes, it's brought us down, but we're not gonna let us hold it. It's not gonna hold us down. We're gonna keep chugging along here in this reality. You know, I say this reality is very, very fluid. Let's always remember that. And that this reality has something for everyone. Where Tory Lanez could be in a car and no proof that he shot a gun, and then a person could say he shot a gun and then come back and say, no, he didn't really shot a gun, but maybe he shot a gun. And we all know that eyewitness testimony is like the worst. And I've experienced that. You know, I've experienced that, you know, what you think you see is not necessarily what you saw. And there's so many studies on that. But we have the appeal process. And hopefully in the next couple of years, Tory Lanez will be out again free. And Megan will have hopefully made it to the roof and pressed the delete button in between
I
that.
don't know about all that.
It's a bit much.
I would like to see that happen. I will go to the dark web. I haven't been to the dark web in a long time. I will go to the dark web to watch that CCTV. She represents everything I hate in a woman. She represents everything I would hate to have in a daughter. She represents everything I would hate to have in a mother. She represents everything I would hate to have in a friend. She truly represents evil. She represents this quenching that will never, the thirst will never get quenched. It's impossible to keep a woman like that satisfied. Her need to destroy everything around her did not stop with her sleeping with all her friends' boyfriends or all her friends' jump-offs. Her need to destroy went as far as sending a man to prison. And that is the ultimate betrayal of humanity. And I've learned that you have to be vetted. Vet these women because there's a sickness out there. There is an evil out there that lives deep inside the souls of these people. And these are people that are willing to give up everything, including their image, including their name, in order to get fame and fortune and clout. They will give up you, me, their mothers, their fathers. Everyone will have to move out of the way because there's nothing that's going to stop them. And those kind of people I want away from me. That drive and that passion, they might try to excuse it for passion and drive. It's evil and conniving.
Passion for the likes.
I'm Big Elvis the Chef.
I'm Ulrich.
Doc, the surgeon. The people's doctor.
Don't forget the Venmo. Don't forget the Cash App. Cash App is $ Elvis Rosenberg. The Venmo is at Elvis-Rosenberg. Express yourself. This is a value for value show. You understand what that means? That means if you got any value out of this, we need you to express yourself. And I implore you to try to impress us. Try to say, wait till they see what I'm about to drop. That's what we're looking for. And we know you can do it. And before I go, I want to tell you that I might dislike Megan Thee Stallion. I might even hate her. But I love you. And that's a fact.